Welcome back to Sledgehammer Horror, guys. I am Ken Sledge.
And I'm Ashley Sledge.
And let's talk horror.
So today we are doing our review on R.L. Stine's Pumpkinhead.
So when his brother disappears and everyone forgets that he ever even existed, Sam must unravel the mystery before his brother Finn is gone forever.
So we're going to talk about our positives, our negatives, and we are going to spoil the film.
We want to let you know, first off, this film is streaming free on Tubi. If you don't have Tubi, it's a free app.
Literally, all you have to do is put in your email, and you get all of these free movies. And Tubi has really great movies.
The horror movie selection on Tubi is absolutely phenomenal. So if you don't have Tubi, go and get that now. Watch R.L. Stine's Pumpkinhead, and then come back for our positives.
So some of our positives, and we already kind of touched on this when we did our little after the
instant reaction.
But it's very R.L. Stine. Like you feel the nostalgic, and I just feel like it's a really great way to get the new generation into like some of his older work and just like gateway horror in general to get them into horror.
This does have a great score.
Yes.
I was actually kind of blown away by how much I like the score, the movie in general, but the score to this, I think, really, really amplifies what they were actually going for with a lot of the scares and the fears in this.
Yeah. And the scarecrow monster guy, he looks really awesome. He's actually very creepy, and he does some cool like twists in the way he like runs, and he does the
maybe a little exorcism.
Yeah, like I thought he was pretty creepy, for a PG-13.
I would say this is going to be PG or G.
Yeah.
I don't even think it would go that high. This is two of our movies that we love. One of my favorite movies of all time, The Harbinger, meets It.
Yeah.
If you combine those two movies and make it more for children, you would get R.L. Stine's Pumpkinhead.
Yes, which obviously is very much so a positive because we love both of those.
Yeah, we love both those movies a lot.
And there's really funny moments. You have character Rusty that we'll get into in the spoilers, but he's a pretty funny guy.
It's too dangerous.
Well, duh. Breaking a child-sacrificing curse doesn't exactly sound like a walk in the park.
And it really... It just adds the humor to it.
Yeah. You got to have your funny guy in an R.L. Stine show. Also, with this movie, there is a good jump scare.
Yeah.
We don't really talk much about it just because I'm not a huge jump scare guy, but this had a pretty good jump scare with our scarecrow monster.
Guy, yeah. And there is really actual suspense. There's a couple of different scenes where you're like, you're going to get caught, and you feel the suspense. It kind of like takes you back to when you were a kid and you're doing sneaky shit and you're like, I'm going to get caught. Like
it's almost like Summer of '84.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I like in it, too. Like, when you're in somebody's house and you're sneaking and that person comes home and you're like, oh, my God, don't get caught. Because you get transported back and like, oh, my God, I remember when I was in that. I almost got caught doing something stupid.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't sneaking in people's houses. But.
Well, yeah, nothing like that. But there is some cool comic book-like images, too.
Yeah.
Like, Rusty tells a story and you get these cool, like, comic book page-turn animated. And I really like that, too. I thought that was a nice touch for, him telling his backstory and how they did that. So
absolutely.
Those are some of our spoiler-free positives.
Yes.
Now let's get into the negatives of Pumpkinhead.
So some of our negatives, it's not throughout the entire movie, but there are certain scenes where the acting is like over the top. Like there's this fake ID scene, and it just felt
He's like,
very,
no way, bro.
Yeah,
and
it felt very forced and not like real life.
Right. Sam is annoying and selfish,
but
and there's so many points throughout this movie where I just want to slap the shit out of him.
He gets his redemption, I think, but
sure.
Yeah. And so they're also, like I said, it's nostalgic and it feels very 90s, but then they're saying things like emo.
Are you done being emo? I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and bra. Like that shit didn't happen during the 90s. Right. So it's like, is it 90s or is it, more modern?
Yeah, because the way they talk is definitely more modern, but the way that the aesthetic is, the way their clothing is, it's all very 90s.
She's literally driving a Volkswagen. Like, that's that's a 90s horror. Like, you start off with a mom driving a fucking Volkswagen. Like, that's just...
It's definitely time jumps there. And there's a lot of cliche characters.
Yeah.
You know, you got the red herring, the annoying brother, the doofus, what you think is a doofus cop.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a lot of really annoying cliche characters where it's like, you know, could have eliminated one or two of them and it would have been just fine.
And some of the CGI just doesn't, well, most of the CGI doesn't look good. There's like this smoke stuff that comes out of the scarecrow guy. And even like when, I guess I won't say that part.
Don't say that part yet.
Yeah, we'll talk about this part in the spoilers.
Yep. So one other negative, which is kind of like a forced negative, they have storylines that they never really finish, and you never really know what, like, there's a big dad storyline, which will, you know, you never find out what the hell happens with that storyline.
We don't know if he like left them or if he's like dead or, you know.
And it's just like, you know, at least give us what happened to him. That way we know. I mean, I'm assuming he's dead.
Yeah.
But at least give us that closure to let us know for sure that he's gone. So those are some of our spoiler-free negatives. Now, guys, we are going to spoil this film, and you can go right into it because you've already downloaded Tubi and you've already watched the film. I can feel it. So let's get right into our spoilers.
All right, guys, so now we're going to start spoiling the film. It begins, it's like dark, and there's like two kids running through the woods, and they're getting attacked by this like it's a scarecrow, I guess. It's just a really creepy-ass scarecrow monster.
Well, the title of the movie is Pumpkinhead, so it must be a pumpkinhead, right?
It's not a pumpkinhead.
Oh, well, let's get into that.
It's a scarecrow.
A mom and her two sons are moving into Red Haven. Mm-hmm. The oldest is Finn, the youngest is Sam. As they're driving up, you can see that, like, you know, Finn and the mom are trying to, like, play games. Like, give me a band that starts with the letter O.
Sam isn't
and Sam's
having
in the back seat, and he's like,
with it.
this game sucks.
Yeah,
or this is a stupid game. Or, you know, being a
typical
shitty
13-year-old. Yeah. So they're neighbors to the town sheriff and his daughter Becca, which we will get more into them, too.
They seem really nice.
Yeah, they're nice.
Yeah, they seem like they're really nice.
Good people.
So they invite them to their town harvest festival. Mm-hmm. And there are some fucking weirdos at this festival.
Like,
they're like praying and shit. Yeah. It's like, the fuck? Like, what are you doing?
They're like praying on like a tomato. Like, it's fucking weird.
Yeah.
And then Sam, obviously, he's bored, so he wanders off into a barn and he finds this pumpkin. It's like on a stem, and it's like literally like there's light on it, like, oh, and it like growls at him. It like changes and growls at him, and he's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah. So this is where the farmer, Palmer, and this is another weirdo, he comes in, he's like, you shouldn't be snooping around these places, boy.
Yeah.
He kicks him out, and he tells the pumpkin, like, don't worry, it's almost time.
It's almost time. Like, what?
This is the farmer's prize pumpkin.
What's happening here? Yeah, so when he's like in there, Becca actually like saves him from
kid.
Yeah, from him. And she tells them like back in the ancient times of 2003, in 2003 is not ancient times, people. The land wouldn't have grown because I guess that there was something going on with their harvest and nothing would grow, and Mr. Palmer saved the harvest. Right. So he's like this big rig in the town, and he's always like giving away like produce and stuff. Yeah, so everybody loves Mr. Palmer.
Yep. Well, Sam ends up stealing the keys out of his jacket, and he goes to the barn and he steals the pumpkin, and when he cuts it, like, you can see something happens right away, and it's like juicy, and when he's cutting through the stem, like, it's fucking gross, but it's awesome at the same time.
We're like, you probably shouldn't do that, Sam.
This is where the practical effects come into play. This looks awesome. Like, you could tell this was practically done, and it looks phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. So the sheriff comes back and is like, Palmer knows that Sam took it, like, just have him take it back, and obviously Sam's a little shit and he won't take it back, so Finn, his older brother, is like, I'll take the pumpkin back. So he puts it in a backpack and he takes it back to Mr. Palmer's farm. And when he gets it out of his backpack, it's not a pumpkin. It's a head. It's like a dead person.
Head.
Yeah, like a dead head. And he like drops it on the ground. And this is when the vines from that pumpkin like start attacking Finn and like going down his throat. And then we don't know what happened to him.
Well, Sam is like, hey, where the hell's my brother?
Yeah.
You know, I can't find him. He goes to Mr. Palmer's barn, and he sees his bike there, so he knows he's there. Mm-hmm. Palmer makes him leave, and when he does, the scarecrow is off the cross. The scarecrow is no longer hanging. He's been hanging up there and making little movements all the time, but now he's officially off
when
of
he
the
was
cross.
there, when he first got there, the scarecrow was there, and then when he went to leave, he was
now
gone.
It's gone.
So he goes back and he's like telling the sheriff and telling his mom, like, Palmer has Finn, and Mom's like, is that your new friend? who's Finn? And he's like, stop playing, Mom. Like, you're joking. And the sheriff's like, you have another son? And like, they can't remember Finn anymore.
And then, he goes inside and grabs a picture. He's like, look. And when they look, he's gone.
Yeah.
He's disappeared off the picture.
He can see the three of them, but when Mom looks, she's like you're playing a joke on us.
It's just those two. It's her only kid. And this is where I say it reminds us of The Harbinger. Yeah. Because in The Harbinger, if you guys haven't seen it, you really need to see it. The Harbinger doesn't kill you. He erases you from existence.
Which is so much more scarier than just being killed. Like, now...
The thought of your family and your loved ones never having been in contact with you is a terrifying thought.
I think that's worse than dying.
Absolutely.
You have no family. You were never born. Just like you always wanted.
And so I think that, it's a fate worse than death. Mm-hmm. And so that's where this kind of gave us The Harbinger. Well, and obviously this was written before The Harbinger. It's an R.L. Stine book.
Yeah.
But in this movie, that's the idea that I got off it. The impression I got was it was a lot like The Harbinger. And once you turn 18, you lose everything.
You can't see anymore
Which is kind of like it.
Yes.
So you kind of have that mix of the two of them
and
together.
And like the kids going missing in the town.
Ways.
Yeah. So Becca kind of like pulls Sam aside and tells them that Red Haven has had kids vanishing forever, and once you become an adult, you just forget about the kids that disappear. So
she's like, there may be one person that can help us.
Yeah.
And they go and meet Rusty. He's a hobbit on the outside of town. He's like, the land is cursed. Every year they take a kid from the harvest. The harvest gives and the harvest takes.
Yeah.
So the harvest takes a kid and nobody remembers him. They wipe him out because they eat from the same land.
Yep.
And once you go missing, you have until midnight on All Hallows Eve, and if not, they're gone forever.
Gone forever.
Because they got to get the Pumpkinomicon.
The Pumpkinomicon, yes.
That's our name for it, the Pumpkinomicon.
Well,
I don't think they call it that in the movie at all. It looks like the Necronomicon, but a pumpkin.
So they go to Palmer's house, and Becca, this is one of the parts that I was talking about that you really do feel like anxious about. She's in Palmer's house, and Rusty's on the phone, like talking about crazy shit, trying to distract him.
Which is another funny scene. He's playing with a, like the cow says, boo, like to make the, he's like, man, I've never seen it beeping like this. Like, I love Rusty. Rusty's a great character.
Funny. Yeah. So she's digging through his stuff and she finds the Pumpkinomicon. And she gets, while that's happening, Sam is getting chased by the scarecrow outside.
And this is where the scarecrow picks him up and starts breathing that black.
He's like breathing black smoke into him, and Rusty like chops off the scarecrow's head
to save Sam right at the last minute. Well, Mr. Palmer gets the book back and the three of them flee. He's like, Rusty? And we're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like, how do you know Rusty?
Him?
Yeah.
We find out that Rusty is Palmer's son, and this is where you get a little bit of exposition. The town was dying, and he came up with a way. We don't know how he came up with the way yet, but he came up with a way to save the land.
Like a magical way to save the land.
Right. And his sister Lily was the first one that was sacrificed, but he doesn't think Lily was supposed to be the first sacrifice. He thinks he was supposed to be the first sacrifice.
Yeah.
Because when the pumpkin took Lily, his dad hit him in the back of the head really hard, and it knocked him out. And when he woke up, his dad didn't remember hitting him. He didn't remember Lily. It was like she never even existed.
He said it's almost time. He said soon I'll be gone. But not just gone. Forgotten, too.
So now the pumpkin, it's back on its vine, and it looks like Finn. Like, its face is Finn's face, and he can't, like, talk or anything, and just, like, growls.
Yeah. So they finally convince Rusty, like, go back with us.
Yeah.
Like, if you can't do it for us, do it for Lily. And he's like, you know what? Yeah, we got to end this. So they go back to Palmer's that night to try to get the Pumpkinomicon, which is a fun word to say, by the way.
And so Rusty, he's like setting off a bunch of fireworks, and Palmer goes out there, and Rusty shoots Palmer with a tranquilizer gun. And Sam and Becca, they find the book in the basement, and that's obviously where the scarecrow is also. And they ended up pushing him into like a deep freezer and locking him in there for a time being. They're like, this'll give us a little bit.
Yeah. And it does, because they go out and they start to read the reverso page in the Pumpkinomicon, and Mr. Palmer starts to go through the town.
Yeah,
like,
you can hear them like saying it, and people start like remembering.
Yep. He starts to remember his daughter Lily, and he just breaks down crying. What have I done? He said it would change the land. He said that this would be better.
I wonder who.
Yeah, who the fuck is he?
Yeah.
But this part is like you see, and then like you see all these different people that are remembering their kids.
Yeah.
And that again is like, because there was one part where Sam asked his mom, would you ever forget about me? And she's like, you're my only son. I couldn't forget about you if I tried.
Okay.
Yeah,
like,
Mom.
you already forgot about one of your children.
Right.
So this is when Finn, he like starts to become human again while she's saying this like reverso, I don't know, spell or whatever you want to call it. And the sheriff and Becca and Finn are all in the barn with them.
Yeah, the sheriff ends up finding him here.
He's like, I know where they are.
Yep.
There's another side plot where they like the two kids like convince these other kids to like sit as them,
which is funny.
Yeah.
But there's certain things we want you to watch for yourself. So the sheriff, he cuts off Becca, as she's doing her, and he handcuffs her to the like a railing, right there, and tells Sam to stop. The sheriff won't let the town suffer again, and he offers Sam to the harvest.
Yeah.
So.
So Sheriff actually tricked Palmer into this spell book, and he's the one that has been sacrificing these kids all these years, and obviously he's the one that hit Rusty.
He's the one that hit
night.
Rusty. That's why the dad didn't remember it. Like this whole time, Rusty thought that his dad was the evil one, and really his dad was tricked too.
Yeah.
His dad didn't remember his daughter. His dad didn't remember that all these kids were being sacrificed. It was all the sheriff the whole time, and you kind of feel bad at this point for Palmer, but you knew the whole time, like, he's a red herring. There's no way that he's the bad guy.
I was like, that they're making it way too obvious that he's this bad guy. Like, this is R.L. Stine. Right. I know that there's a different bad guy. Like, I just knew it.
Right. So the sheriff starts reading the curse to sacrifice Sam, but Finn takes him down and chokes him out, and they reverse the spell just after midnight.
Yeah, it was just after
midnight.
Yeah.
And all the harvest dies and the scarecrows all vanish.
Yeah, so you see like the tomatoes rotting and all the corn going back into the ground. And so everyone's all happy, it's Finn's birthday, and Sam goes, well, I didn't get you a present, but I did save your life, so that has to, amount for something, and they don't know who he is. Who are you?
Since the curse was broken after midnight, they forgot Sam.
Yes.
And they're not going to be able to remember.
And
now,
they just leave. They're like, oh, poor kid. And they fucking they leave the farm without him. And
the movie ends with Sam sitting down
with Rusty and Becca.
With Rusty and Becca. And they're like, well, you still got us.
Yeah. So that was really dark. I was like, dang, okay. Like now this kid doesn't have a family because they don't remember it.
It was a really, really dark way to end the movie and an awesome way to end the movie. Like I said, I wish we could have learned more about like what the scarecrow was. I mean, obviously, we don't have to go into all the detail, but it would have just been cool just to know. That doesn't amount to any type of negative for me. I gave this a 4 out of 5, just strictly, like I said, during our instant reaction. I was going to give it like a 3, 3.5. But after the ending, it jumped up. They had the balls to go there. A lot of kids shows, kid movies would not have had the balls to end this the way that they did. So I got to give them all the credit in the world for taking that big swing. And for me, that was a home run. They swung hard at a fastball and they knocked it out of the park with that ending. So I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5.
I gave it a 4 out of 5 also, just because strictly like it just felt nostalgic to me. I felt like a little kid watching Goosebumps or something. Like it was that happy good feeling that you get during Halloween time and getting to watch these kind of movies. And this is definitely one that you can watch with your family.
100%.
Yeah, and like the scarecrow was actually pretty scary.
They did some amazing work with the scarecrow. And like I said, I could see this entering the Sledge family Halloween cycle.
Absolutely.
Like that's how much we enjoyed this. Our kids enjoyed it. I know we've been reviewing a lot of kid-friendly stuff lately, guys. But that's, as Sledgehammer Horror, we don't want to be just rated R, over the top horror.
No,
we love
this
horror
is definitely
of all shapes
gateway
and sizes.
horror, and this is how you begin. This is how we all began with gateway horror.
If a child watches our review and goes and watches a horror movie for the first time and gets into it, we did our job. And like I said, we love horror, whether it's beginner horror or it's the most extreme horror you can watch. We love it. And so we want to give every horror film, whether it's gateway or extreme, its fair shake and its fair shot. And I'm glad we did with this one because we had such a great time with it. So let us know in the comments, what were your thoughts on R.L. Stine's, I almost said Goosebumps, it's just a habit, on R.L. Stine's Pumpkinhead. What were some of your positives, some of your negatives? What were your expectations and were they met? We would love to know what you guys think. If you haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe. It does help build the channel more than you know. And follow Sledgehammer Horror on social media. Those links are in the description as well. But until next time, keep talking horror.
Stay who you are.
And we'll see you guys soon.
Bye, guys.